we've got a nice selection of beers that I have fermenting in my cellar.
Right on.
The first one is wheat beer, brewed with about 9 pounds of pale malt, 4 pounds of wheat malt, I believe. After primary fermentation, I racked it on top of about 10 pounds of sour cherries from my tree in my backyard that were frozen, and added some red wine soaked oak chips to it and some Brettanomyces B. I'm going to leave this for about a year and see how it turns out. I don't know. I didn't follow a recipe. I've never brewed a sour beer before, but I mean...
So this is just total winging it. But sounds like it.
Well, you know...
We'll see. Might be really good.
Everything I've read said if your sour beer tastes like shit, just wait longer.
Okay.
And it'll taste good eventually.
Sure.
Who knows? Maybe by the time I drink it, these might just be powder instead
Cool.
of cherries.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they what they turn into. Just some goo.
Yeah.
And cherry pits.
So we'll see, and then maybe we can keep the yeast cake with bread in it off the bottom and just give it a name and
Right
adopt it as part of the family and just keep dumping shit on it. Forever.
Right on. In these bourbon soaked oak barrels that you got here, you got 2 of them.
Yep.
And so you're eventually going to just turn these into your sour machines.
Yep. Yeah, they'll just always have sour beer in them is the plan.
So, but for this, what we're about to rack now is this one here, right?
Yeah. So one of these bourbon soaked barrels is going to take on this Imperial Stout that I brewed last weekend.
Sure.
And I'm going to age it in there with the bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, for maybe 4 or 5 months. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll just taste it as we go. And
Yeah, and then so that'll take on the flavors of the stout and pull a little bit of the bourbon out, and so you have a slightly different barrel.
Yeah.
Right on. And then you got a jug of cider next to you as well.
Yeah, this was just brewed from a kit. I don't drink cider very much. I don't know much about it, but I was in the brew store and I thought it might be easy and fun to try and
Sure.
see how it turns out. So
Something different to drink, something sparkly and light.
Yeah. Well, so this was put in here October 10th, it says, and I put it in the secondary about 2 weeks ago. And it was already tasting pretty good.
Well, it's like the 27th of November today, right?
28th. But, from everything I've read, they said that cider will throw off bad tastes and bad smells for a very long time. But it tasted okay, and it was very dry, and I think it'll turn out pretty good.
Right, I'm excited to try that. And you got one more fermenter? Did we miss one? What's that one next to the cherries and in between the ciders?
That's also Imperial Stout.
That's also an Imperial Stout.
Yeah,
So it's the same batch as in this one.
It was a 10-gallon batch,
Okay.
So.
Right on. And so these barrels are from the Okanagan BC Barrel Works, and you say that they're out of business. Like as soon as you went to look from there out, and then you got these off some dude who had these full of bourbon.
Yep.
For quite some time.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Okay, so anyway, we're gonna attempt to rack. We got to set up here. This is your kegerator that you built out of a wine barrel, or is this a bourbon?
This was a bourbon barrel from Black Velvet Distillery.
Well, that's rye then.
Here.
That's a rye barrel. Or was it bourbon? Black Velvet, I thought was rye. I don't drink it because it tastes like shit.
Bourbon.
And then you got these tap handles. You built all this, eh?
Yep.
Piped all that in. So we're gonna block that up to get
you the
into.
inside.
Sure, yeah, right on. It's on wheels too, so Vanilla Bryce does some serious custom work here. And you got is this cold right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all refrigerating.
Yeah, so this is the guts from a mini fridge.
Yeah, that's the same as my R2D2 build, but this is in a barrel.
Yep. This
Right
is
on.
just weather stripping and
Sure. Yeah, no, it looks great.
bag full of hops.
A lot of insulation actually.
Temperature thermometer.
Right on. Right on. What's in there? I want some.
What?
In there. What do you got in here?
Oh, in here, this is the wet hop blonde ale I brewed this summer with the hops in the backyard.
That was with me there with the ESB.
No, this was...
Oh, different one.
Yeah.
Different one? Okay, right on.
Yeah, this is just a lightly hopped blonde ale. Nice drinkable, like 18 IBU maybe.
Sure. Okay. So we're gonna block up the fermenter and I'm just gonna get you to move out. And we built this table here to hold this other barrel here. And so we're gonna try and get the fermenter higher so we can rack into there, and then we built it up so that we can then rack down into bottles. essentially after that, or whatever, keg or whatever you want to do. Probably bottles with the sours, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we built a over-engineered structure to house this barrel.
Extremely strong.
Yeah, so it should
easily
do the
do.
trick.
Well, we were initially hoping to get both barrels in here, which I'm gonna guess is full. It's gonna be somewhere between 300 and 400 pounds. So
I'm guessing
it's
150.
It's a little over. I think it's gonna be a lot more than that. I mean, it's 20 gallons.
We'll have to wait and bet $20, and you'll
the
be
wood's
dinner.
wet. The wood's saturated already with bourbon.
Oh well, yeah.
And then you've got 10 gallons of liquid inside of it. It's not going to be light. So anyways, we can only fit one in here, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, and this is going to be cool. So I think we'll cut this video off here, and then we'll do another one of racking the video, and I'll probably just link it up in the description box of how this racking this stout into this barrel. And it should be a good time. So Beerzerker and Vanilla Bryce. We's out.
We's out.